Hey everybody, Gary with Basecamp Trading. Let's take a look at some setups we had on the 30-minute chart in the ES today. You see this morning, the ES, this was actually the opening bell right here. This was our 8:30 to 9 o'clock bar, which is, I'm Central Time, so that was the US Open. You see we had this big bullish bar, and then it was followed by a really bearish bar. This bar opened right at the top, closed right at the bottom, and then followed by a fairly bullish bar. Left a bottoming tail, pushed up, left a little bit of a topping tail. The entire body of that bar was all buying. So you can see the ES trying to decide what it wanted to do here. Then it was followed up by yet another pretty bearish bar. Left a topping tail. The entire body of that bar was all selling. 5 and 13 had crossed to the downside, and then this bar triggered this bar to the downside, and then the ES made a pretty big push to the downside. Actually broke under the 200 and made a little close just under the 200. Didn't stay. We know the 200 and the 50 EMAs are significant support and resistance zones on these charts. Pushed back above it, ended up closing below it. Pushed back above it a little bit, closed below it again, pushed back above it yet again, closed below it, and left this shooting star right here. The big topping tail, and the entire body of this bar was all selling. Next bar triggered this actually to the downside, opened right here, triggered it to the downside. We were trading this in the afternoon. Actually good for a couple targets, or $200 per contract, but then left this big bottoming tail yet again. The entire body of that bar was all buying. So you had this bullish hammer, which actually triggered to the upside, but then didn't really follow through. Back under the 200 yet again, closing in a reversal doji. Then this reversal doji opened right, or was triggered by this bar. This bar opened right here, broke lower, good for another couple targets per contract, $200 per contract, and then left this big bottoming tail yet again. This 34.72 area, the low of this bar was actually 34.72. The low of this bar was 34.72.75. The low of that bar was 34.72.5. So this 34.72 area, somebody was defending that big time. I mean, every single time down there, back up, big bottoming tail, back up, back down there again, big bottoming tail with a hammer, back down again, big bottoming tail, finishing in a reversal doji. Then this reversal doji ended up triggering back to the upside. We actually had a decent Unirenko chart set up off of that, and could have grabbed depending again how you manage your trades, but opportunity to get at least $250 per contract on the trigger of the reversal doji to the upside. And this is what that actually looked like on the Renko chart. This is where we triggered that first bear flag, grabbed a couple targets to the downside, retraced back up. Right here is where we triggered that reversal doji. See, we pushed up, left a big topping tail. That bar opened right in that area right there. Pushed up, left a big topping tail, closed right down here in the same area. Triggered that to the downside. We're able to grab a couple targets off of that one. And then this is where we formed that bullish shooting star back the other way. You pushed up, closed right up in this area. We got the pullback in the wick off the 18 with Trender Pro 2.0 signal, and that pushed up nicely for, again, depending on how you were managing your trade, but should have been able to at least have the opportunity to grab $250 per contract on that move back up. And we triggered that reversal doji back to the upside, broke the cloud, pulled back into the cloud, and the moving averages got the Trender Pro 2.0 setup. Nice. This was a pretty good setup with a 30-minute confirmation back in the other direction. So 3 pretty decent trading opportunities this afternoon off of 30-minute setups.